Hello and welcome to the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Darshan Mehta. Good morning, Agam.
Hi, Darshan. I'm Agam Akil. Here are the headlines. Indian markets see modest gains with Nifty hovering around 10,900. All sectoral indices except IT trade in the green. Oracle Financial's open interest falls after traders take short positions. India Bulls Housing Finance Adani Ports also see short covering. Jet Airways leads banker SBI calls a meeting with airlines chairman and Etihad CEO today. This is the first meeting after shareholders approved the debt recast. The Reserve Bank of India removes 3 more banks from the Prompt Corrective Action Framework. Allahabad Bank, Corporation Bank and Dhanlaxmi Bank exit.
Let's see what the markets are doing, and we're about the 10,900 mark in trade. We've had a rally of almost close to 90 points currently, so there is positive traction that's happening on the Nifty. The Nifty futures no doubt trading at a mild discount. Remember, tomorrow's the expiry. The rollovers seem to be on the decent side at this point of time, 38% rollover, but that will pick up as the day progresses. As far as the stocks are concerned, only 11 stocks are declining. Almost the balance are managing to gain in today's trade. Let's pull up and see what the Bank Nifty is doing at this point of time. And the traction there is also on the positive side. The Nifty Bank is seeing an open interest build-up of 8%. On the March series, and it is up almost 0.8%. Where are positions being built? You can clearly see that, at higher levels there is a writing that's coming in. So 10,800, 10,900 and 11,000 is where call writers are active, and put writers are active from levels of 10,600 at 10,700. So that's the scene that we're seeing as far as this series is concerned. Today it will be the put writers which will be active at 10,800, 900 and 11,000. Put writers are writing in trade. So that's the trend. Agam, anything on the stock specific side that you want to highlight?
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at stocks which are seeing a considerable change in open interest. And say for Reliance Communication, there isn't unexpected lines. So let's pull up this list of stocks which are seeing a decline in OI. And of course, Oracle Financial Services, Adani Ports, India Bulls Housing Finance, Motherson Sumi as well, which has been in focus of late. And Lupin also seeing considerable decline in OI. Keeping an eye on stocks like Adani Power, Motherson Sumi and Lupin as we move into trade today.
Okay, let's take a look at which are the stocks that we want to discuss in today's trade. First of all, some of the counters that have managed to actually move into trade. So we'll be discussing counters like Balkrishna Industries, which has managed to move up in trade from the recent lows. Ramco Cement is doing extremely well, a Deutsche Bank upgrade. But remember, the Kotak report that came out yesterday indicated that South India-based companies have taken a price hike of 40 rupees, and that's why, the counter was up almost in trade. So even India Cement is doing well. Wipro, a Credit Suisse downgrade that has come into the counter. Whether it has been a marked outperformer, whether it deserves a shot at this point of time or no, we'll ask our guest. And finally, CG Power is one of the counters which has managed to rebound in trade today. Is there more traction there? We'll ask our guest. So those are the counters that we'll discuss today. Before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder, if you have any queries regarding the futures and option market, you can call us on 022454044141 or write to us on Twitter, Facebook with the AskPQ hashtag.
Okay, on that note, let's get in our experts for the day. We have Nirmal, Nirav Chheda from Nirmal Banks and Securities and K. Subramanyam from Altamount Capital joining us on the show. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. Okay, Nirav, I'm going to come to you. I'm just going to start with you. After seeing a surge in VIX yesterday, it's cooled off again today, and well, it's business as usual as far as the Nifty is concerned, which has now moved above the mark of 10,900. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, see, for Nifty, I believe Nifty will now break out, above the 11,000 odd levels. As everyone is aware, Nifty is moving in a range of 10,700 and 11,000 levels. For Nifty, there was no sign as such in the last 2 months that it will really, move up from here. But now, I believe with the FI buying coming in again and Nifty going above the 50 and 200-day moving averages, ranges. One should witness a breakout. The VIX has cooled off again, which is also a very good sign. So I believe Nifty should again move up. Now, what should be trading for in the next 2 days? I believe probably till expiry we should see Nifty touching 11,000 odd levels, so one should be buying the 10,900 call at current levels with a target of 80, and one can keep a stop loss of about 20.
Okay, Nirav, that's your strategy. Mr. Subramanyam, good morning. What's the trend that you are spotting? Are you advising your clients to go long on the Nifty, and what's your strategy?
Yeah, good morning, Darshan. I think the sudden spike early in the morning, it's not very comfortable, and I mean, we have seen this struggle take place around these levels. So I am more prone to take some sort of a bear spread. I think we are going to see volatility, that's for sure, and one could possibly buy 10,900 strike put. Sell a 10,800 strike put, so the risk reward is extremely favorable. The net cost comes to about 28, and even if it doesn't work, I think stop loss of 5 could be kept, and but the maximum gain that one could gain in the eventuality of any correction coming about is about 72 pips. So I think current levels, I would probably more keen on doing some profit taking and exactly see where it exactly pans out the second half of the day.
Okay. Well, to clarify, a bear spread is employed when one expects a moderate down move in a security, and in this strategy, a put of often a certain strike is purchased. In this case, it's the 10,800 put, and a put of a lower strike is simultaneously sold. Again, in this case, that is the 10,900 put. So that's as far as your bear spread is concerned, that Mr. Subramanyam is advising to employ at this point in time with a net cost of around 28 rupees. But moving on, what are the stocks that are in focus? Mr. Subramanyam, I'll come back to you. Stocks that you are betting on today?
Yeah, both banking counters, in contrast, Yes Bank, which I think has seen some pretty decent rolls till now, and I think it's also been consolidating pretty strongly. Even in days of even yesterday's weakness, we saw some buying coming about. So one could possibly buy the futures, but again, given the volatility that we are likely to witness, I would also recommend buying of a 230 strike put, and this is all the current series, February series itself. So I'm taking a very extremely short view just for a couple of days, and keeping a target of 244 and keep a stop loss of 227. And the second one is a buy of recommending buying of 350 strike put of ICICI Bank. I think the sluggish roll seems to suggest that even during I think the March could begin on some sort of negative note, and I think going into expiry, the rolls also don't seem to suggest that we are going to see any strong upside. So a 350 strike put comes at around 1 rupee 1.2. So keeping a modest target of 4 rupees and keep a stop loss of 50 paise.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on the stocks. Nirav, which are the stocks that you want to talk about?
Both my stocks are buy calls. See, IndusInd Bank in the whole banking space hasn't really moved. It has consolidated from a long time in between 1480 and about 1520 levels. I believe there are long positions which are being built in into this counter. Very likely this stock is going to move up towards the 1600 levels, probably in the March series. So one can buy the March series futures at current levels with a stop loss of about 1470, which is a very good support area on the downside. You can see trading targets of about 1520, 1530 coming in probably at the end of this week or probably the start of the next one. The second one is a buy call on Tata Motors. Extremely good formation, good short covering action which has come in from 150 odd levels. You've seen from the time it had gone down from 180 to about 115, that one day it has recovered everything, and some large open interest has been seen in this counter. Incremental open interest has been seen in this counter. So I believe this stock can actually fire all guns blazing now up to 195 or 200 odd levels, which is a resistance. Once that is broken, I believe this stock, the trend will change to positive, and probably in the next 6 months you will see this stock going up towards the 260, 300 odd levels. So at least for trading perspective as well, one can buy this stock for the March futures with a stop loss of about 178 and a target of about 200.
Okay. Well, these are just some of the stocks that our experts are recommending. Let's also address some stocks that we want to talk about. And I'm going to pull in, in a trade of a favorite here. That's Ashok Leyland after the kind of, gain that we've seen of late. And it's back above the mark of 85. It's also managing to sustain above, the levels of 79.80, which a lot of other technical analysts have suggested that those are crucial levels. The real question is, where do we go from here as far as Ashok Leyland's concerned? Nirav, what is your reading on Ashok Leyland? And at this juncture, would you initiate a fresh long, a fresh short, or would you avoid a trade at all here?
I'll be waiting. I'll be avoiding trade at this moment. It is in a downward trend, and the volumes are not quite there for Ashok Leyland on the downside. Having said that, the resistance seems to be very close at 87. Now, once 87 is broken above and probably sustained above, you see volumes returning. Only then you can say, Ashok Leyland can actually move up towards the 105, 110 odd levels. At this moment, I'll be waiting and watching. If 87 is not broken, it can again break its previous low, which was around the 78 levels, and go down to test the 70 or 65 levels. So as of now, avoid trading in this counter. Let's see if it breaks out about 87.
Okay, that's the view. The other counter pretty much will be the large cap of the day, and that is Ramco Cements. Pull up Ramco Cements, and there is enough traction that's happening. It's up almost 6%. Yesterday, Kotak came out with a note indicating that their dealer price check indicated a 40 rupee upside in prices in South India. Today, there was a note by Deutsche Bank which upgraded Ramco Cement. So you can see players in South India, be it a Ramco Cement or your India Cements, pull up Odisha Cement, pull up Orient Cement. So all these not in the F&O, but nevertheless, cement as a pack, at least the ones that have exposure in South India, all of them are doing well in today's trade. So what's the view on Ramco Cements and India Cements? That's something that we'll ask Mr. Subramanyam. Both of them are doing well in trade. Does this warrant any fresh buying in these two counters, India Cements as well as Ramco Cements?
So as far as Ramco Cement is concerned, yeah, definitely a preferred pick among the cement counters in the west out of south. But technically, I'm not very sure that this, it could be a profitable holding on to it. And we are already seeing a pretty sharp surge coming about in today's trade, almost 6%. And I think I would advise closer to levels of 700 itself. I think we could see some sort of resistance coming about. So any long positions that are already there, I think I would advise to book out. As far as India Cement is concerned, more often than not, this counter has flattered to deceive. So I think I would probably avoid any trade in this counter. Any bumper that comes normally witnesses selling. Yeah, I think in very near term, short term, I think going into tomorrow expiry, we could see a spike on the back of some very strong short covering. This is a typical counter where we see short covering coming about closer to expiry, and tomorrow that probability is there, and I think we could see levels of 90. But again, not very keen on initiating a long trade, but closer to levels of 90, 92, maybe one could book out and exit the counter.
Okay. We've spoken about cement stocks, so I'm going to talk about a stock that I was addressing this morning as well. We're talking about Wipro. Well, this morning I'd actually pull up a list of all the stocks on the NSE 500, which could see a potential down move based on the Bloomberg consensus. And Wipro was one of those stocks where at least the consensus was projecting in over a 10 to 15% decline from current market levels. Well, I'm not sure if investors heard us, but at this point in time, Wipro is certainly under pressure. It's down 2%. Now, its rollover stand around 50%. Also, to take a look at how the stock has done over the previous few months, it usually is a stock that doesn't always move in tandem with the index because it has issues of its own and it has winnings of its own. So on a 1 month basis, it has climbed by as much as 7.5%. And as far as 3 months are concerned, it has certainly outperformed and climbed as much as 22% now. So the real question is, in the short term, perhaps over the span of the next 3 months and also through the upcoming March expiry, where do we go when it comes to Wipro? Nirav, I'll come back to you. Currently, spot is at 380. What are the prospects for this one?
Yeah. See, Wipro, if you see, the chart overall, this stock has actually fired up from 330 odd levels, and it was in a brief consolidation in between 300 and 330. So if you take out a 100% retracement also, it has actually taken the whole target up. So very likely you're going to see a consolidation in Wipro coming in around these levels, probably a downside as well. As of now, the pattern that it is making for a short-term period is not very good, and for a longer-term charts also, if you see, there's a negative divergence which is being built in on the RSI, which is not a very good sign. I believe if one is holding long positions, one should be booking out at this moment, and if it breaks the 369 odd levels on the downside, then one can look to short this stock. It can come down towards the 330 levels in the short to medium term.
Okay, the other counter we want to talk about is Balkrishna Industries, which opened very strong in trade, but now has managed to cool off from the highs of the day. Balkrishna Industries, Mr. Subramanyam, what's your take on this one?
Not a counter that I really track keenly, so I would give it a pass.
Nirav, any view on Balkrishna Industries?
Yeah, see, Balkrishna Industries had broken a very important support of about 1020 and since has come down. Now, the volumes at lower level have been, very good. It has witnessed volume at 1900 and even 800 odd levels. In the recent, about 2 or 3 weeks back, some good volumes have come into the counter. I believe this counter is primed now to move towards the 1000 odd levels. A very good breakout above the 865 levels has been seen in this counter. It can move up towards the 1000 odd levels. One can buy at current levels with a stop loss of 865.
All right, so that's view on Balkrishna Industries. Moving on to the other stock that we wanted to address was CG Power. CG Power has had an interesting run, and by interesting I mean very, very sharp moves over the previous, I would say, couple of weeks at least. Of course, a lot of these sharp moves were on account of fundamental reasons, but as you can see, this is your 1 month view where it has declined by as much as 14%, but at one point in time, it had moved around the mark of 24 rupees per share even and moved below that. On a 3-month basis, of course, it's 18%, but the development happened in February, and February has been a very, very volatile month for CG Power. But it has recovered to a certain extent, and it has gained around 11-12% in the last 7 days. It's also up as much as nearly 4.9% today. So what's going on with CG Power? What are the variables telling us about this one? And where do we go from here? Mr. Subramanyam, let me take this one up with you. CG Power, how would you trade this?
I would probably not trade at all because it's been a gross underperformer, and I don't see any clear directional move coming about.
Okay, the thing about CG Power is that it keeps going in and out of the F&O ban as well, which makes it very difficult for a lot of traders to, take positions. At least it has been off late. That has been the case. But Nirav, can I come to you on CG Power too? How would you deal with this one?
Yeah. Again, I'm one person who looks at volumes very, very closely, and in CG Power, the volumes keep coming in. So whenever, you've seen 2 weeks back when CG Power, came down from 40 odd levels to about, 25 odd, the volumes in that week were tremendous, and such volumes have happened in CG Power in the past as well. So if you, take a study of it, every time such volumes do happen, the stock again rebounds about 25-30% from there on, and that is when the stock actually moves up. So I believe CG Power is primed to go up towards the 36, 40 odd levels. See, the volumes had happened around the 28 and 25 levels majorly, and that is why it is already up to 32. So probably it can go up to 36, 40 odd levels. I do not see downside coming in right now. One can go ahead and buy this stock with a strict stop loss of about 28. You can look for targets of about 36 and 40. Some good short covering is also been seen in this counter. As you said, it was in ban, so the positions had to be closed. So again, I believe it can go up towards the 36-40 levels. One should be buying.
There is one more stock which has been consolidating of late. In fact, consolidating since the month of, I would say, November, if I'm not mistaken. That's BEML. BEML has well risen as much as 3% today, but that's largely on account of the order win worth 400 crores. It's one Bengaluru contract for for 7 as units, if I'm not mistaken. There you have it, 7 metro train sets. So that's where the gains are coming in today. But as I was talking about consolidation over the previous few months, sideways movement, not too much to speak for when it comes to a range, either largely moving between the mark of 750 to perhaps 900 on the top side. And this has been the case since, I would say, November. What do we do? Where do we go? In fact, on 1 month basis, it's absolutely flat, even though it did move down below the mark of 756. Mr. Subramanyam, do you track BEML? And if at all, what would you do with this? Any trends here?
Well, I think closer to levels of 840, 45, I think pretty strong resistance is there. So, and it has seen some sort of short covering at lower levels, but not a counter which is exactly, showing any great bullish tendency. But anybody holding probably could book out and probably just wait for some more indications where we could, take cues as to on the go long or short. So, for the immediate short term, I think closer to levels of 840, 850, one should book out.
Okay, the other stock that we want to talk about is Yes Bank. Yes Bank has managed to inch up significantly over the past few days. It's up another 2%, holding about close to the 235 mark. There's also a query. DN Bhattacharya has written in. He's saying, is Yes Bank's uptrend going to continue? Keeping tomorrow's expiry in mind, is it a good time to go long on Yes Bank? Nirav, would you buy Yes Bank? Would you advise buying Yes Bank at this level?
Yeah. See, I don't know if I've said this on your channel here, but Yes Bank, most definitely I'll be buying the stock at current levels. See, because the volume grouping that happened in Yes Bank in the past about 10-15 odd weeks has happened only once in its lifetime earlier, when it was around the 40 levels, and from there it had a 8-year bull run. From 40 it went up to 400 odd levels, and now again we've got an opportunity here where probably Yes Bank can move up from say 200 to about say 800 or 900 odd levels in the next 7-8 years. So again, for a long term perspective, I am very, very bullish on this counter. I believe even on a trading perspective, if you're bullish for a long term period on a particular stock, then trading also on that same side becomes much easier. So I believe one should be buying Yes Bank at current levels. A very good support level right now is formed around the 220 odd mark. It is not breaching this level on a weekly basis, which is a very good sign. I believe it can go up towards the 270, 280 levels probably in the March series, but I would suggest people to buy it in cash and just hold for the next 7-8 years, because the bull run is coming for this stock.
Bull run's coming for this stock, and as Nirav suggests, over the course of the next few years, it could scale up to levels of around 700 and 800 rupees per share as well. But Mr. Subramanyam, it's been about a little over an hour since markets have opened. Anything interesting that's was showing up on your screen?
Well, after a gap up, I think the market is just holding on steady. So no clear trends as such, because we could. My feeling is that we could probably see some sort of profit taking. So I would probably just wait for some more cues. Currently, I don't see or spot any opportunity.
Okay, Nirav, how about you?
Yeah, you just mentioned about the cement pack, and most of the stocks are actually breaking out. So there's one stock called ACC. I believe it has witnessed a breakout above the 1420 levels today, and with good volumes. So one should be buying this stock. The weekly volumes are really good. I believe it can go up towards the 1500, 1520 levels. Even today, probably it can reach the 1460 odd levels. So go ahead and buy with a stop loss of 1418. 1460 is the target.
Okay, well, on that note, I am going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Nirav as well as Mr. Subramanyam, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets, of course, solving one query as well. For more updates on the F&O space, don't forget you can check our website out, bloombergquint.com. And on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of F&O Show. On the other side, we get you an exclusive conversation with Future Group founder Kishore Biyani. So stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint. We'll keep bringing you more.